Could Luke Dempsey's side upset the odds once more, or would it be Laois advancing to a meeting with Meath on June the 20th? Jim Carney watched this one for us.
At a packed Dr. Cullen Park, Carlow are forced to make two late changes. Fullback Stephen O'Brien is ruled out by injury. Brian Farrell moves from right fullback to fullback, and in comes Paul Cashin. While up front there's a change in the full forward line where Brian Carberry can't start because of a hamstring injury, but he may play later. In at the start comes Brian Kelly. A look at the Laois line-out shows number 5 Darren Rooney playing championship football and hurling inside 24 hours. But Laois have also had to make a change. That's up front, where left half forward Mark Dunn is ruled out by an ankle injury. Colin Parkinson switches from full forward to left half forward, and into the full forward line comes the vastly experienced Mick Lawler. The busy, energetic Colin Parkinson onto the ball. Noel Garvin in support. Good ball through towards Brian MacDonald. And opting to fist the ball over the bar, and it's level, a point apiece in Dr. Cullen Park. John Hayden found Willie Nevin very well there. Thomas Walsh with a good run. Now he's under a bit of pressure here. He gets a good ball through towards Sean Kavanagh. Good ball in, and a goal! Well, that all started with a good ball through to Johnny Nevin, and when they worked it through, it just required a quick, accurately delivered pass, and when it came through, Brian Kelly in from the start of this match. What a good selection he proved with a Carlow goal. Good work by Cormac McCarthy at first to keep Laois out, but here's Colin Parkinson. Chance of a score at the second attempt, and it's over the bar by Colin Parkinson. That's a good reply by Laois. Inside a minute, they've hit back with a Colin Parkinson point. A tremendous kick out by James Clark, the Carlow keeper, even allowing for the wind, getting great distance into his drive. To Mick Lawler. Now Tom Kelly has come forward, which he so often does, with confidence. Mick Lawler, off his left, tremendous drive by Mick Lawler, super point by one of the most experienced players on the Laois team. Brian Kelly getting it through to Mark Carpenter. The Carlow have only one man inside, Simon Ray. And again, a Carlow move finishes with a bad wide. Tom Kelly to get it to Paul MacDonald. Looking for his first cousin, Brian. They're from the Arles Killeen Club. Now Brian MacDonald, lovely touch and lovely turn by Brian MacDonald. Oh, what a point this would be, and it is! The score of the first half by Brian MacDonald. We're in injury time in the first half. Four minutes into injury time. Ross Munnelly looking for his third point, and it's been punched in, but it's a free out. And the referee, Michael Ryan, was decisive there. He has given a free out. Carlow bidding to open it up across field. Thomas Walsh had called for that ball. Picked up a great position. Now is he running into trouble here? He's got Johnny Nevin outside him. Johnny Nevin, good turn inside. But again, it's very tight. The Laois defence are playing really well. Even pushing Carlow out the field. Mark Carpenter couldn't get through there. Worked it to Willie Power. Almost no room for Carlow to play with, but at last they find a bit of space and they find a score. Brian Kelly, the man who got the goal in the first half, has got a vital point here for Carlow. The free man is Kevin Fitzpatrick. His first touch just letting him down for a second. Giving it to Mick Lawler, back to Fitzpatrick. Score on from Kevin Fitzpatrick. Good drive, great point. Just when Laois needed a bit of inspiration, they got it from Kevin Fitzpatrick. Willie Power. A good run by Mark Carpenter to Brian Carberry off his left. But again, there was a tackle going in. Every time a Carlow man gets the ball, Laois defence come around. And again, a tremendous block down. But it comes to Sean Kavanagh. Off his left. Good ball by Sean Kavanagh. Good score. Carlow needed that one. Kavanagh, a good man to take his score. Noel Garvin wins it once again, and Kevin Fitzpatrick is again in support. Good one here by Garvin. Plays it through to a free man. Driving, Chris Conway, great score. A captain's example. Super score by Chris Conway, and Laois are 2 up again. Willie Power for Carlow. Setting up a move. Great ball through. Knocking it down to Mark Carpenter in front of the goal. Punched over the bar. Good score. Very good score. Carlow are back in contention. Chris Conway working hard in the second half for Laois, winning a lot of good ball. To Kevin Fitzpatrick. To Pádraig Clancy. He's been a very good substitute. Pádraig Clancy goes for a point. Clancy marks his return with a spectacular point. He's worked hard since he's come in the second half. 1 minute into injury time. Here's Ross Munnelly against Joe Byrne. That's a good battle. Munnelly gets the free. Two minutes overtime then. Chris Conway, the Laois captain, with a super kick. 15 points to 1-7. And now Micko can breathe a little bit easier as he looks at the watch, which will tell him that we are over the 2 minutes of injury time called. So there's the final whistle with Laois the winners on a scoreline of Laois 15 points, Carlow 1-7. 3 times in the second half, Carlow got it back to 1 point. On all occasions we were thinking, could there be a draw in this match? But on all occasions, Laois went upfield and got the necessary scores, which sees them advance on that scoreline of 15 points to Carlow's 1-7, 10 points.
Our first game back, championship, you know, this the way it is, you know, you get to the pace of championship football again. We haven't played for about 7 or 8 weeks, you know, so it is a bit of a shock for us, but we needed that badly, you know. And they are very good, they're a good side, you know, they proved it out there today, you know, they were up for it, they wanted to win it, and they gave it a good go, you know.
At crucial times in the match, we weren't awarded frees that everybody could see were frees. And I mean, I don't want this to be sort of a predictable criticism of a manager that is now out of the Leinster Championship, but something has to be done. I mean, we have our midfielder in there going for an x-ray to his sternum from a blatant shoulder charge about 20 yards out, and the referee plays on. Laois were getting much easier frees at crucial times, especially the pick-up by Brian Carberry and the last couple of frees. So it's very, very frustrating, and like Hugh Kenny last week, it seems to happen to the teams that are trying to make the breakthrough.
Can I just say, you know, that last week aided and abetted by Bernard Flynn that I actually dumped Carlow out of the championship a week earlier, so no slight was meant to any of the minors or the weaker counties, so mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Paul, it wasn't the one-sided result many people expected, and again, we listened to Luke Dempsey's comments there. Is that the case of another losing, moaning manager, a case of sour grapes, justified or not?
Well, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Carlow today. They came out and played very good football. They were responsible for their own downfall, I think, today. A lot of the time they had a lot of possession, but you know, took wrong options up front. Good game of football, good second half, and they'll be pleased enough, although Laois have a lot of work to do before they meet me in the semi-final.
Paul, one of the main talking points in the first half was Laois's disallowed goal, Chris Conway's goal. What did you make of it?
Well, when I saw it, I thought it was a perfectly legitimate goal, and
we'll take a quick look at it.
I've watched it a couple of times since, and it hasn't changed in my mind. There's a long free in here from Ross Munnelly. Chris Conway just goes in, boxes it to the net. I can't see anything wrong with the goal.
Would you not say that maybe perhaps he was in the small square before the ball arrived?
Well, in fairness to the referee, he blew very, very quickly for a free out.
Though, Paul, really. It was a good bit out from it.
I couldn't see anything wrong with it. He you know, the Carlow defence kind of stood still and let him run in. I think it was a legitimate goal, and at an important time as well, just before half-time.
Paul, Carlow's performance was a bit of the curate eggs variety. It was good in patches.
Yeah, as I said, they were responsible for their own downfall. They had plenty of possession today to actually go ahead and win the game. Yeah, as I said, they had plenty of possession, but they wrong options up front. Worked the ball out very well from defence, but once they got into the scoring area, a lot of bad wides, and they mixed a big
improvement in the second half.
Yeah, they mixed a lot of good and a lot of bad. They improved a lot in the second half. Here we see a great score from Sean Kavanagh off his left foot, who had a very good game today, and another score which was worked up. And you know, they can be very proud of their performance today, and you know, they just fell short in the last 5 minutes.
Kevin, Laois will need a big going on today's performance. I think they'll need a big improvement to beat Meath, will they?
Well, I think Meath have plenty of improvement to do all on their own on the evidence of last week's match. I would say, Pat, that you know, these guys are the Leinster champions. They won't.
Is it the case second year round the surprise element is gone? They now know what they play like.
Yeah, but there's a question of confidence. Like, these young Laois fellas are confident. They're Leinster champions. They will improve. We know that. Today was you know, just get through this game, get no big injuries, get all our lads back together, and get ready for Meath.